Hey everyone, my name is Samantha and welcome back to Blacklisted Technology. Hey everyone, welcome back to Blacklisted Technology. Today we have Kaylee here with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here again.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you today. So today we're going to be speaking about Kaylee's journey. She actually recently got promoted to become an engineer before she was a junior engineer. So we're going to ask her a little bit about that. So, Kaylee, what's expected of a junior engineer?
That's a very fair question. Going in my first position as a junior engineer at a company, I wasn't entirely sure. I was like, I'm just going to jump in and I will learn as I go. And I realized that is what it's expected of you, is just take in everything. And they aren't kidding when it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's a lot, and you just gotta like hang in there.
Yeah.
And don't let go, because once you get through it, it's all worth it. But I would say the expectation is, they usually give you bug tickets, so small tickets, and you start with those, you work through those, and at any point you're working a bug ticket, a feature, an epic, anything large, you always can reach out to a coworker or your lead, and even senior engineers sometimes will reach out to others. It's really a collaborative team at every company I've seen. It's not about, well, I know a lot, so I can't reach out to this person below me. I did have my team lead and people who've been in the field like 8 years sometimes would ask me what I thought about something or how they would go about something, because as together we're all like one collective mind. We are a company, a team.
Exactly. No, I think that's great, especially because, part of working in technology is having a fresh perspective on things, because it's so easy to get stuck in a very simple problem. And it doesn't matter what level you're at, but sometimes you just need to talk through it. And I think one of the main skills junior engineers learn is to reach out for help and ask for it, because I know myself, like when I first started, I would struggle for like hours. And then I'd be like, okay, I can ask this question. I'm going to ask it. I'm going to do it.
Right.
And then finally, just asking it and getting it solved. And I'm like, I could have solved that in like 5 minutes. I just missed a colon or something,
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. And I think that's one of the main things that you learn as a junior engineer.
But I think you do bring up a really fair point. Like, I think it is important as a junior engineer to go through some of the struggle.
Yeah.
They say, give it, everybody I talk to has different, amount of time, but a couple hours is good, because you will learn so much through that struggle that you wouldn't have.
Painfully.
Yeah, it is painful. But I've had some junior engineers who their go-to is just reach out to somebody and just want to shadow somebody constantly.
Yeah.
So you gotta like kind of find that
Take off
balance.
the training wheels.
Yes, yeah, take off the training wheels, and when you need to, then you can pop them on for a second here and there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important to establish boundaries. And I think that's something else you learn as a junior engineer, whether you ask, not enough questions or too many questions. You learn boundaries and what's acceptable in the workplace and how to work through problems. So I think that's great.
Exactly, thinking like an engineer.
For my next question, I wanted to know a little bit more about what's the difference between a junior engineer and an engineer.
Yeah, that's tricky. So it really is defined by each company. Even going into a different company, they may not see you as an engineer, another one or see you as a junior engineer, and then the next one say you're mid-level. So it really depends on each company. The general idea between a junior and a mid-level is a junior is going to need a little bit of coaching. They're going to need to take more time understanding just kind of the basics of maybe computer science. Depends on their background, of course, or understanding the basics of how it all works. So it's really hard to really differentiate. A mid-level, though, engineer or intermediate, they're going to have that expectation that you can come in, you'll take time to learn the stack of the company, but once you have that down, you'll be able to pretty much work tickets and everything by yourself and just reach out to your coworkers when you need to collaborate on an idea.
No, I love that.
So Sam, I actually have a question for you. So what are your thoughts on, I meet other engineers and they're kind of like, once I become an engineer, like mid-level, maybe even senior, like that's the end goal, and then I'm just an engineer. But some people, they're kind of go-getters and maybe they want to do other things with their life. Do you know what other options there might be besides just engineer?
Yeah, so I know actually a ton of engineers too. They get stuck in this mindset. They're like, okay, well, I'm an engineer or I'm a senior engineer, and that's it for the rest of my life. And I almost feel like that's a little bit naive because there are so many other options, especially when you get into management, like managing teams, or even if you're not as social, you can focus on specific areas, like maybe become an architect engineer or, other areas you can just really focus in, or even a technical PM, which I think is a great role because it opens you up to a large amount of opportunities. Because at the end of the day, at least in my opinion, and I know yours, you don't want to be an engineer forever. Like, that's not something that's going to fulfill you. Like, I know how hardworking you are as well as me. So I feel like a PM or just specializing in a certain area can really open you up to become, VP, president, because you're going to have a wider array of knowledge. So that's what I always recommend for my friends who are like, hey, what do I do? Like, I'm at the top of my pay bracket. There's nowhere else to go. Where do I go? So I think it's really important to just not put yourself in a box.
Yeah, start thinking outside the box, go sideways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's so many technical roles, especially nowadays, where having a technical background is wonderful, but you're doing so much more than that. Like, you're doing people management, people skills, you're doing you're building entire systems, or even if you're working in security, you're working on multiple systems. So I think it's really interesting to get into.
Yeah, those are great ideas.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your journey from becoming a junior engineer to a mid-level, and I've loved everything you had to say, and I think it's going to be extremely helpful, especially people moving through their career. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sam.
Yeah, and make sure to check out Blacklisted's website, which is black-listed.technology, as well as our iOS app, Blacklisted.
And for any girls in tech field that want to get in the tech field, or already are, if you're looking just for other great girls to meet, you're looking for some lessons or mentors, anything, check out Women Who Code. You can find us at womenwhocode.com/Phoenix, or you can find us on meetup.com.
Thank you, guys.